Welcome back to Ben's Book Club. Today, we're diving into the book, Your Money or Your Life. Now, this is one of those classic books that can totally rewire how you think about work, money, and really what it means to be free.
So the book kicks off with this just brutal, brilliant question. It's designed to make you stop cold and ask yourself, is the daily grind actually building the life I want, or is it just eating up my life? And that right there is the hook that pulls you into the entire philosophy of this book.
So, what do they mean by making a dying? Well, it's a really powerful way to describe a trap that, honestly, a lot of us fall into without ever even realizing it. The authors call it the work-spend treadmill. You know how it goes, right? We're all kind of conditioned to follow this exact formula. You get a promotion, you start making more money, so you think, okay, time to upgrade the car, maybe get a bigger place. But then, those upgrades come with bigger payments, which means you're now more chained to that job than ever. You have to keep working harder and harder just to keep up. It's this exhausting, endless loop.
Okay, so how in the world do you break out of that cycle? Well, the book suggests a pretty radical shift in how you see things. It's not about just earning more. It's about completely redefining what money is. And the key is this whole new philosophy, seeing money as your life energy.
This right here, this is the central, most powerful idea in the entire book. Money isn't just paper or numbers on a screen. It's the real, physical stand-in for your life energy, your time, your effort, your vitality. Every single dollar you earn represents a little piece of your one precious life that you traded away. And once you start seeing it like that, every single purchase starts to feel different.
And this is where it gets really eye-opening. The book tells you to actually calculate your real hourly wage. And I'm not talking about your salary divided by 40 hours. No. You have to subtract all the hidden costs of work. Your commute, the work clothes you have to buy, the takeout you order because you're just too wiped to cook. When you do all that math, your real wage is almost always way lower than you think.
And this just perfectly captures that mental flip. We're all used to asking, can I afford this? Which is really just a math problem in your bank account. But the book forces you to ask a much deeper question. Is this thing, whatever it is, worth the hours of my life I had to trade to get it? All of a sudden, that new gadget isn't $100, it's maybe 5 hours of your life. Is it still worth it?
So this is a really powerful philosophy, right? But how do you actually apply it to your life? The book lays out a whole 9-step program, but for this explainer, we're going to focus on the 3 essential tools that make this whole thing real.
So step 1, like we just talked about, is figuring out your real hourly wage so you finally know what your time is truly worth. Step 2 is tracking every single cent that comes in and goes out. And this isn't about making some crazy restrictive budget, it's just about awareness, seeing where your life energy is actually going. And then step 3 is making all that progress impossible to miss. The book is huge on this tool, a physical wall chart, and they mean literally. They want you to draw a big graph, hang it on your wall, and plot your monthly income and expenses. This makes it all tangible. You can physically see that gap between what you earn and what you spend getting wider and wider, and you can watch your investment income start to creep up. It turns this abstract idea into something you see every single day. Okay, now it is so important to get this next part. The goal here is not about being miserable or extremely frugal. It's not about deprivation. It's about discovering what is enough for you, because that is the real prize in this whole journey. The book shows this perfectly with what they call the fulfillment curve. You can see it on the chart here. When you're spending on basics and comforts, every dollar brings you a lot of happiness. But as you start moving into luxuries, you get less and less bang for your buck. And then eventually you hit overconsumption, where more stuff actually starts to decrease your happiness because of all the stress and debt and clutter it adds. That peak of the curve, that sweet spot, that is enough. So living at your enough point is what lets you save and invest all that surplus money. And the ultimate goal of all that saving is to reach what the book calls financial independence, or FI. This is the amazing point where your money is finally working for you, generating enough income from your investments that it covers all your living expenses.
And if you go back to that wall chart, this magic moment is called the crossover point. It's that beautiful moment when your investment income line finally crosses above your expense line. Now, this doesn't mean you have to quit your job. It means work becomes a choice, not something you have to do. You have officially bought back your own time. You are free. You get to decide how to spend your life energy from that day on.
Of course, we have to remember, this book was first written back in 1992.
It's pretty much credited with sparking the whole modern FIRE movement. That's financial independence, retire early. But that brings up a really important question. How does all this philosophy hold up today? Let's do a quick reality check. I mean, think about it. With the cost of living today, inflation, housing prices that are just through the roof, is hitting that crossover point even a realistic goal for an average person anymore? Or has financial independence become more of a hobby for people who are already earning a ton of money?
And what about that core idea of finding enough? It's a really powerful concept, but if you're someone who's just struggling to pay rent or you're drowning in student debt, does this whole conversation feel a little out of touch? Is the ability to just sit back and philosophize about your spending levels a privilege in itself?
And lastly, while the philosophy about life energy feels totally timeless, what about the practical advice? The original book recommended really conservative investments, like government bonds. In today's world, with crazy volatile markets and the gig economy, do those specific strategies still hold up?
The book doesn't really give us easy answers to these modern questions, but it leaves us with the one question that kind of cuts through all the noise and is just as powerful today as it was 30 years ago. It's not just about budgets and spreadsheets. It's about looking at how you spend your money and asking, what is my one finite life actually worth? And does my spending reflect that? Subscribe so you don't miss an episode.